The bowhead whale normally lives far up north in the Arctic, but recently a group of the creatures was spotted in Churchill. Researchers are fascinated with this rare discovery since there have been only 10 sightings of the bowhead whales in the Churchill River estuary in 120 years. Joining us now to tell us more about the sightings and what they could mean is U of M PhD researcher Veronica Coppolaro. Good morning, Veronica.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now tell us about the bowhead whale. Tell us about the species and where it's usually found.
Yeah, so it was pretty surprising to find bowhead whales in the Churchill River estuary because they normally live up north. Imagine they stay in the northern part of Hudson Bay, but then they also live in Greenland, north of Canada, north of Alaska, Svalbard. So finding them in Manitoba was really far from their typical range. And so it was pretty surprising to see them among the belugas that we normally see in the estuary.
Right. So, okay, when were they spotted and what were they up to?
So they were spotted in 2020, but we only found out about their presence there in 2023. So basically, we set up a time-lapse camera. That's a camera that takes pictures every 5 minutes on top of the gallery of the Port of Churchill. And we were studying belugas. So we were interested in how belugas interact with vessels and just in general what they do in the estuary. And then when we were analyzing the pictures later on in 2023, we found something big and dark among the other white backs of belugas. And so we started asking ourselves, what is it? And at the beginning, we thought it was just like a big branch or like a piece of a tree in the water because nobody was thinking it could be a big whale. So we studied the pictures, we asked around. Turns out bowheads are very, very rarely spotted in this area. As you said before, we only found 10 sightings in more than 120 years. So wow. It's very incredible to have seen them there. But what's interesting is that it was a group. It was two bowhead whales together, which has never been seen before.
So why do you think they're there? What's happening in their environment?
So we have to think that just in general, as we know, climate change is basically destroying their natural habitat because these whales normally live in northern parts where they are surrounded by sea ice. But as we know, sea ice is melting. So these whales are basically changing the areas they're exploring. So one of the hypotheses is that they came for food because the Churchill River estuary is a bit of a hotspot for their food because there is a lot of mixing of waters. And so they could have just entered to feed. They could be there to molt because bowhead whales high up in the Arctic are known to change their skin in warm and shallow waters. So the Churchill River estuary could be the right spot. They could be there because they're hiding from predators. We know that in Hudson Bay and also close to the Churchill River estuary, since the 2000s, there has been an increase in killer whales. And this is really worrisome because killer whales are not normally found in the Arctic and in Hudson Bay, but because there is less sea ice, they're now allowed, let's say it's easier for them to enter the bay and they predate on bowhead whales.
Oh, so they could. So more research is definitely needed in this area. Veronica, thank you so much for sharing this with us. We appreciate your time today.